to 9 it is. We're talking sports sponsorship today. In the studio we have Marco Boglione, Marketing Director of Kappa. And I must just tell you, buongiorno, come sti?
Grazie, molto bene.
Come sta, is it?
Come sta? Come
Come
stai?
sta?
Come stai? Bene, molto bene, grazie. Thank you very much. Very well, thank you very much.
Good, good,
Yeah.
good. Nice to have you in the country. And Mashishi, Chief Executive of Moribo Investments, thanks for coming in.
Okay.
Can we just start with you, Marco? First
sure.
of all, you're with Kappa, you're the Marketing Director. What does Kappa actually stand for? What does the name Kappa stand for?
It's a long story. Actually, the company was founded in Italy in 1916. And,
1916?
1916. And from
Good
1916
Lord.
to 1968, actually, it has been doing socks and underwear. And, you know, the company was the leading company in Italy in sockswear under the name Kappa. And then during the 60s, the company decided to turn into a casual wear company. You know, during the 60s, actually, the casual wear concept was born.
Yes.
with a revolution, with a cultural revolution all over the world. The young people wanted to be dressed differently, not use any uniform any longer.
Yeah.
So the informal concept was born. And so in Italy they started a line called robe di Kappa, things of Kappa, pieces of Kappa, you know, very basic, very you know, aligned with the cultural moment in the world. So the robe di Kappa was started as a name, and the logo, the famous logo, was born at that time. In fact, the logo are very much a 60 dated logo, you know, the two naked people sitting back to back after, you know, you can imagine what they
Lots
can...
of flowers around.
Yeah, flowers and things. And then in the late 70s, the company went back to the name Kappa, the short Kappa name and logo, when we decided to enter into the sport field. And we became, in 1978, I would say, at that time we were one of the few real sport brands. I mean,
Yeah.
there were very few sport brands at the time, and the sport business was kind of a monopoly of maybe the famous one, Adidas, that was doing only the active wear, and the sport casual wear was just starting at the time.
And you've been involved with Kappa for a long time, haven't you?
Yeah, in fact, I've been involved directly or indirectly with Kappa since when I was 19. I'm 40 now, so 21 years. Actually, there was an interruption from 1985 to 1994, when you know, I started 1975. I left 1985. Then I started my own business, and I was successful, happy, lucky. And after 10 years as an entrepreneur, I was able to buy Kappa. In fact, you said marketing director, but in fact the most proper definition would be chairman of the Kappa International Operation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so sorry about that.
No. It's in fact, my job is being a marketing director since when I was very young.
Yeah.
And I still feel a marketing director of the operation. This is my job on the ground.
Right. Well, I don't see you wearing a tracksuit today. Why not?
Because I forgot.
Boss, I love your tracksuit. It goes very nicely with your shirt. Moss, your involvement with sports sponsorship is quite heavy here, isn't it?
Yes.
Particularly soccer?
Particularly soccer, yes. Through Kappa Investment Holdings, which we got involved with maybe 6 months now, we acquired the South African operation as Moribo, as a major shareholder there. And we increased the South African sponsorship, the sponsorship of the South African team, Bafana Bafana, from an amount of about 100,000 a year to effectively 2 million a year.
2 million a year.
So that's been a major,
incredible.
And that's because, of course, the national team has become a focal
point
organization
of soccer,
Yeah,
really.
yeah.
Do you sponsor any other football teams?
Yes, we do. We sponsor a Supersport team, and we also and we also sponsor Coco Stars.
And is it only football, or do you sponsor any other sport?
At the moment, our focus is soccer.
Okay. Marco, worldwide, how's Kappa been doing?
Kappa is doing great worldwide. During the last 2-3 years has been doing. I must say, I'm not very modest, but I must say very successful. Yes.
And what about opposition in Italy? Do you have much opposition there? I know there's lots.
Yeah, the opposition is big. Is great everywhere. Actually, the business is. I must say the whole business, the sport and casual wear business is still a growing business everywhere, and there are very big people playing this game, and so Kappa is not certainly not the biggest one, but is trying very hard and is succeeding, and is we are very much focused on soccer. We're still keeping, according to me, the best teams in the world. We sponsor Juventus since 1978 and Barcelona again since 10 years ago, and as well as many other important teams. So we are very, very focused on soccer, and soccer is very popular. It's very trendy. So we add to this, I think. Clever communication strategy, a very wide and well done designed range of product. So we're successful. We're trendy, we're fashion.
Okay, you also have personal sponsorships as well, don't you? Personal sportsmen.
Oh yeah. In athletes, you mean?
Yes.
Yes, we have many players. I must say, most of them they play in the teams that we sponsor. And we have a communication strategy which is very much based on the individual. So the sponsorship are on teams. The sponsorship activity is on teams, but the strict communication program is on people. In fact, our claim is people on the move, and we believe very much in this claim and what is behind this concept. And what is behind this concept is inside the person we use. We ask him to help in communicating our philosophy.
Are you involved in the development or behind the development of sports throughout the world?
But in fact, the sponsorship, maybe I don't understand very well what you mean for development, but if you...
From grassroots level?
But you know, once in fact, when we sponsor, for instance, the South African national team, we finance the South African national team organization, and the national team organization is not only to play, the World Cup or to play the qualification for World Cup, but is to grow the soccer activity in the country. So financing, sponsoring the federation, this is already doing what you said, except that the federation is the organization that should take care of it, has got infrastructure and method and system to grow the sport.
Yeah.
The only thing we can do is to give them the money to do it.
Yeah. Development in South Africa, Moss, how's that going?
Well, it's quite exciting. South Africa has just come out of a period of isolation internationally. And as you can see, sport has become a very focal point in the overall transformation and unification of people in this country. Rugby has done very well. Soccer, Bafana did very well in the African Cup, the Olympic team. And all that is building momentous of great excitement. Through our own sponsorship, we were excited to be part of that whole movement. And in particular, with the South African team, South African Football Association, we have taken the concepts of sponsorship even further into a true partnership relationship.
Yes. In
that we probably the first sponsoring company that has invited the association to be not only a recipient of our sponsorship money, but also to be an equity participant in our company, so that the association can also benefit from the growth of our business and replow that money back into development.
Sure, yeah. Marco, just getting back to the teams that you sponsor, what amazes me is they stay with you for so long. Obviously, there's so much competition with other sponsors wanting to take over, say Barcelona or Juventus or something like that. How do you keep those teams?
But
lots of money.
Lots of money. Of course, in order to keep the money, you have to be able to even the best market offer. always. I mean, so they don't stay with us because we are better looking, but at least because we pay the money that the market is able to pay in that moment. And in the last year, this has been tremendously increasing because of, basically because of the, you know, the new American competition. Before, up to some years ago, the Americans, you know, they said soccer is something different. Yeah?
Yes, yeah.
And they stayed away. So one reason is certainly we have been able to pay what the market was offering. And actually, we staying with them so long, we have been you know, stimulating the market at first. And second, you know, when people decide to stay together so long time, it's because they feel good with each other.
Yes.
So the money on one side, I would say on the other side, 50-50 service and friendship and loyal relationship and all these things.
Okay, Marco. We do have a caller on the line. It's Barry from Sea Point in Cape Town. Barry, good morning.
Good morning, Tinkerbell.
Tinkerbell, thank you.
Yes, I'd like to also say good morning to Morse and Marco.
Thank you, good morning.
You're very welcome in our beautiful country here.
Okay.
I'd like to ask you a question. You said that Kappa was started in and around 1916, and if it's been around for about 80 years or so, why isn't it competing with the likes of Nike and Reebok and Adidas at this stage? I mean, they are sponsoring top teams, but we don't really see enough coverage of Kappa in our shops, on our teams, local teams, international teams. And why is that?
Mark,
Yeah.
Marco?
Thank you for the question. It's a very good question. Actually, you may remember that in the 80s, Kappa was more than competing. Actually, I would say that was winning against these brands. And actually, you know, one of the brands you mentioned, like Reebok, was founded after Kappa was already very successful. And during the year 80s, the whole year 80s, say 1980, 1990 exactly, Kappa was sponsoring the whole American track and field team. Don't forget that Mr. Carl Lewis won 4 out of 5 gold medals wearing Kappa, and only 1 wearing Nike. Unfortunately, you know, this is life. The company during the 80s had some problems because the head of the company, the chief executive, that was actually was my former boss and my best friend, passed away when he was only 38. So the company really stopped his growing because of this. And I personally left the company 1984 because of this reason, and I set up my own business, and in 10 years time I was successful and then able to buy back the company, and now in 2 years time we're trying to relaunch the company, you know, starting for a good standpoint. That was the goal we achieved in the first decade of activity.
Okay, Barry, has that answer your question?
Yes, thank you very much.
Thanks very much for phoning in.
Thank you.
We've got somebody from Durban now. It's Johan from Durban. Good morning.
Good morning. My question goes to Marco. You speak such good English. From which town in Italy do you come from, and where did you learn to speak such good English?
I thank you very much. In fact, my biggest concern to come here today was because of my broken English. But I appreciate very much. I will remember this telephone call.
It's just that my Italian was so bad that we couldn't hold a conversation in Italian, so we decided on Marco's English.
But from which country in Italy do you come from?
From which town you mean? I mean Torino. There's, you know Torino. Are you familiar with Torino? It's the northern part of Italy, town, city.
No. Sorry.
Yeah, it's where they make Kappa
And they play
Fiat,
football.
You know, Fiat, the cars.
We know it as Turin.
Yeah,
Turin.
And
yes.
where did you learn your English? Do you speak such good English?
Thank you very much. In fact, there is a story behind my English. I didn't speak a word of English when I was 22, 23, and I was already working, as you may have learned by the program. And so I wanted to learn the language, the very important language, and I had to do it very quick. So I found out that in New York, Berlitz, the Berlitz school, had a special course, mostly for Japanese. No, and a special course called Total Immersion, and that was a 3 weeks course with a huge program. It was about 11 hours a day with 13 different teachers, including lunch and dinner. And it was such a brush course that I can ensure this is a free advertisement for Berlitz, but it works. In 3 weeks I learned my English.
Do you enjoy your work?
What?
Do you enjoy the work that you do?
I didn't get it.
Do you enjoy the work that you're doing?
Right now, yes,
yes,
absolutely, absolutely. I'm enjoying, and you know, I've been doing it since I was almost a kid. Actually, I wanted to do something different in life when I was a kid. I wanted to be a photographer, but then I found this job. It's very exciting. It's giving me a lot of satisfaction. So, absolutely, I love it.
Welcome in this country and enjoy yourself.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye. Thanks, Johan. Thanks for phoning in. David from Pietermaritzburg is on the line next. David, good morning.
Good morning.
Carry on with your question.
I'd just like to ask both the gentlemen in the studio there. Kappa used to sponsor the Natal Sharks rugby. What happened there? Did you guys withdraw, or what happened? What is the story there?
Yes, that sponsorship was not renewed. That happened late last year before we took over the company, and we have taken a view at this stage to launch our growth through soccer, but of course we think that in a very short space of time we'll be looking at alternative sports like rugby.
Okay, David, thanks for phoning in. We're staying in that sort of area because we're going to Durban now, and there's Sean on the line. Sean, hello. Hello, Sean? No, disappeared. Anybody else on the line?
Yes, I just wanted
there you are.
Are you going to go into the rugby schools development and that kind of provincial stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. What is important at this stage is that we relaunch the brand in a significant way. As you can see with the sponsorship, the commitments that we've made to Bafana, we believe that it's important that rather than giving little bits everywhere, that you commit substantial amounts to a specific sport so that the impact is felt. However, that we think will result in real growth for the brand and for the company. And as we grow, we think that opportunity will be forthcoming for us to invest in other sports like rugby. But we think that it's important that with the resource that we have, we sponsor qualitatively.
Okay, thank you very much. We don't have another caller on as yet, do we? No, we don't. Okay. We don't have too much time, but just very, very quickly, Marco, you're in South Africa. Just explain the reason your visit. And this is your first visit to South Africa, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, it's the first visit, and the reason is very simple. We try to figure out how to make a better organization and better business. So I'm here to discuss with our partners all details of operation. As we discussed today, maybe everybody understood that we are getting through a new era of the brand, which started a couple of years ago. So we try to move fast, but the world is big, and in any case, we're very happy about the new partners and the way we're working.
Sorry, Marco, we have another caller on the line. Let's just make it very brief. Can you, Leon? Hello, it's from Stellenbosch.
Yes, good morning.
Hi.
My question is to Marco. I'd like to know. I'm also actually very interested in the marketing aspect of sport, and I also would like to come into sports management and play the role like what you are also doing at the moment. Can you maybe tell me how you got there and what your job entails?
And Marco, can you make it very brief?
I didn't understand very well the question. So how did I get to this business?
Okay, what we're going to do... Sorry, Leon, because we've run out of time, we'll take your telephone number and we'll get Marco to phone you after the show. How's that?
Okay.
Okay, sorry about that. Thank you for phoning in. Anyway, that's it from Supersport AM. Thank you, Moss and Marco. Good luck for the rest of your tour to South Africa.
Thank you.
Or you're leaving tomorrow, aren't you? But anyway, thanks for coming. And join us for more Supersport AM on Monday. Goodbye.